I'm Ryan Espinoza.
I'm Abby Yonker.
I'm Ian Anderson. I'm Devin Askew.
And
we are
the Saguaro
Snakes.
We have tried to do that earlier, but it didn't work. So we named ourselves the Saguaro Snakes after the saguaro cactus, since we wanted to represent Arizona as a whole. I still can't really pronounce it, so, but then the snakes part was for the alliteration. We'll just go on.
NASA does not just jump into an experiment and say, heck, let's do this. They always have a purpose for it. In the 1950s, the space race. Everyone knows about the space race. It's kind of a big deal. The 1960s, and the first man to orbit both the moon and the Earth. In the 1970s was man's first step on the moon. In the 1980s and the 1990s, the first rover landed on Mars. It is now our turn to be the generation that goes to Mars.
So we have like a plan on how can we colonize Mars. Like we obviously need like a food source to do in Mars, and Mars is the plant surface is not very fertile for like plants and like just things that we as a people or colony may need, and we have a plan for how to make the soil a lot more fertile for plants, and so we can use those plants.
Peanuts are the only plants that deposit nitrogen into the soil, which other plants use to grow, and the nitrogen is a critical part on plant growth. So if peanut plants can grow in microgravity, then on other planets we could use those peanuts in order to fertilize the soil so that other plants, when we colonize that planet eventually, will grow on that soil. And you don't have to transport tons of fertilizer to that planet.
So the plan for us is like to figure out if it does actually transfer still a good amount of nitrate into the soil so that we can plant plants on Mars. We will have one plant here and then one plant on the ISS, so we can monitor those. Each one's going to have one on Earth, controlled UV light, air, water, and soil, and then the other one's going to be just, we need to prime them for the 28 or 30-day journey for like when they're in space. So that would be prepped at like about 3 weeks ahead of time. Yeah.
Sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
The plant will sprout here on Earth at 45 days. So when it is sent into space, it will already be beginning to grow within the seed.
Alright, so we're going to have 2 peanuts, one here on Earth and one here on space, on ISS. And to feed them with nutrients, we'll be using small UV lights, LED lights, that only takes up 0.2 watts. And it's going to be 16 hours on, and then the rest 8 hours is going to be off. And for water, Harvard makes automated syringes. So we're going to order 24 ounces of automated syringe, and then 1 ounce every day. We're going to give it water, and then during the 3 weeks, whilst everything's being packed onto the ship, we're going to give it 8 ounces during the load. Yeah. And then during the nitrate, we're going to use a regular LAQA nitrate NO3 meter, and that's how to calculate how much nitrate there is in the soil. So at first, we're going to calculate how much nitrate there is in the soil before there is a peanut plant, and then we're going to put the peanut plant in, and then we're going to calculate the nitrate throughout the days it is in space and compare it to the data here on Earth with the nitrate.
Why is growing this peanut in space such a big deal? If this peanut plant can put nitrate into the ground while it's in space, it will allow other plants to get nutrients from the soil. We won't have to send millions of dollars sending fertilizer to Mars. We can plant a peanut plant, we can eat the peanuts, and these other plants can use the nitrate and all the nutrients within the soil.
Any questions?
The NO3 meter you talked about, what's the power draw on that?
The power draw,
It usually required 2 button cell batteries, which has around 3-4 volts.
Okay.
also just to clarify, how our soil is going to be inside our box is going to be in like how NASA used the veggies. So it's going to be in a box of soil that we use to calculate nitrate, and there's going to be an opening for 2 water wicks, and then in between the water wicks is going to be the peanut plant. And then inside the soil is going to be our LAQA nitrate NO3 meter. And it's going to be sent back to Earth on a computer to see what the data is.
And this specific sensor is usually that household sensor. It costs around $250, so it's not as much as we expected it to be, and so the rest of it we can, since it's household item, though it wouldn't be, there are other ways to apply it.
Questions?
How mature is the peanut plant that you use? I mean,
It'll be 45 days old. So we'll be planting both plants here on Earth, and around the 45-day mark, the sprout will actually come up out of the seed, and at that point is when it will be sent into space. Because we don't want to send a plant up there and not knowing if it's going to grow at all, then there'd be no point in testing if it's going to grow nitrate. So they'll be 45 days old.
Also, why I explained about the veggie way in space, it's microgravity, so the roots would normally grow out in all directions, but with the veggie way, it points the seed towards the way where like the root grows down into the soil instead of growing around. Questions?
How did you determine how much to water the plant?
How did you determine how much to water the plant?
Yeah. So we were limited with the amount of weight that was limited. So we were wondering like how much like 24 ounces would be. So 24 ounces would be 1.5 pounds of water, and then the amount of water it takes to keep a peanut plant alive is less than making it sprout. So that's why we're planning to make it sprout before we send it up in space.
Thank you.
Well, to answer with his answer as well, I grew up in a very agriculture-based town, and so I kind of knew how to already take care of plants like that. But we went onto a very agriculture-based website where they grow peanuts for a living and found the smallest amount of water to still keep a healthy living peanut plant.
Thank you.
Will the control plant here and the one on ISS be maintained to like the same temperature ranges?
Yes.
The question is, will the control be maintained, the control on the ground and in Earth be maintained at the same temperatures?
Yes, we're going to try to keep as many factors as the same because we don't want any extraneous data.
So basically, we're going to use the same temperature. The ISS is flowing throughout their spaceship. So also it will benefit them. This is just something extra. It also convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. So it'll just be an extra benefit right there.
Any other questions?
And have they ever tried growing peanuts in space before?
Yes, they've grown peanuts, but they didn't test anything with them. They've grown lettuce, they've grown cabbage, carrots, tulips, peanuts. So we picked something that we already knew grew, but we're testing something different than they did. They just wanted to see if it could. Now we're seeing if it can produce nitrate to help other plants in the future. All right.